I had a more visceral reaction to this vampire movie than any other vampire movie I've ever seen. There was something about the way that this was shot, the way the presentation of it, the dialogue and the sound that sort of like gave me a little bit of anxiety. So when we were like, oh, we got to leave? Okay, we could leave. We're good. I don't know what was wrong with me, but we finally got to, what?
The sense of dread that they're building in the movie.
It really was effective. And we finally got to finish it like last week or so, I think. We just watched the last half hour and I love it. I love this movie so much. I'm not the hugest fan of his previous film, The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse.
The Witch.
Fine. I love The Witch.
Have you seen The Northman? I haven't seen The Northman.
I haven't seen The Northman yet. I want to see that. But yeah, everything about this I think is fantastic.
YUNKJunk!
Whoa!
Oh, that was a good one.
A little horse, yeah. Good evening, sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation, and thank you for tuning into one of the longest running comic book and pop culture podcasts in all of Transylvania.
Whoa.
The CultPop Podcast Live. Episode 1, 0, 8, 108. If you're new here, I'm sorry. This is a place where we talk about comics and movie and TV and games and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. And we're back from break, baby.
Baby, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bwamp, bwamp, bwamp. As
Happy
the kids
New Year,
say.
Dylan.
Happy New Year, y'all.
We're broadcasting in real times from YUNKJunk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast production space here in Philadelphia, PA. Hey, Dylan.
Yo.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Nice.
How was your break? I missed you.
I missed you guys too. I haven't seen
I
you,
missed him more.
I missed him more. We haven't, first of all, been thinking of Dylan for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you win.
You weren't even here the last week we did a show.
No, I wasn't.
So it's been almost a month.
I know.
I've
Are
been
you
thinking of
okay?
Dylan because I saw him for Inside the Morgue that week.
Yeah, you've seen him. You've seen him more frequently than we have.
And we
Wait.
text sometimes because he thinks we're so funny.
Yeah, we talk about you and other boys.
Aww.
What boys do you have a crush on at school?
Apparently, it's not Noel or JD. So
He keeps passing me notes to pass to you, but I refuse.
I'm
Just
too
eat
jealous.
them.
Do you want a podcast with me? Check yes or yes.
You have to do the little.
Yeah.
What is that called? The little, you know what I'm talking about.
It's
Cootie catcher.
yeah,
or
cootie
fortune
catcher,
teller.
fortune teller, or cootie catcher.
Cootie catcher.
Cootie catcher?
Yeah.
For catching
Yeah, some
coots,
people
bro.
call them that. Cootie catchers or fortune tellers.
So
Off the rails immediately.
That's
Happy
not-
New Year, everybody.
I don't remember what they were called when I was in high school 400 years ago,
yeah.
but it wasn't cootie catcher.
Yeah, I
You
know.
look
Yeah.
great for over 400 years
Okay.
old.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
better than Count Orlok.
Nosferatu.
That's for
Yeah.
damn sure.
Yeah.
I'm your host for the evening, Johnny Destructo of JD's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to the rad-ass folks like yourselves. So get on in there and give me your rad-ass sweaty money. With me tonight from Inside the
Asses.
Morgue,
Floppy and sweaty.
Hey, that's me.
Alice.
I'm inside the morgue. Hi.
Well, not currently.
Well,
You're
are we?
In,
Oh no.
I have trapped you.
4 to 5 days a week. 4 to 6 days a week. Yeah.
and then Noel.
Ah.
Just Noel.
Eh.
And in the booth, you already met him. You love him. You dream about him. It's Dylan, our trusty producer.
Some of you text him.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I asked the question I was supposed to ask you, which is if people want to start a show with YUNKJunk HQ, how do they do that, Dylan?
Just look at the bottom of your screen. It's not too hard. Email that email down there. Dylan at YUNKJunk.com. Let's make a podcast. And yeah, it'll be fun.
Let's make a podcast as well as love.
As
Tonight,
well as
we're going to
love.
talk about what's been going on during the break, a listener email, perhaps some goals for the new year, resolutions, if you will, as well as review the most talked about and biggest horror movie in the country. But before we do all that, the gentlest of reminders that if you're here live, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification like a butta bing, so that you know when we're doing this here nasty stuff. Also, we love a little back and forth, so get up on this chat.
Speaking of men of the hour have joined in the chat. Christopher St. Sauce, good night. He thought we were doing Mission Impossible 2 this tonight. Nope, it's next week. Mission Impossible 2 is next week. A note about Nosferatu, we'll read that later. And Carl's is up in this chat. Happy New Year, Carl.
Hi,
now,
Carl.
A peek behind the sausage curtain. My
Oh.
Carl. My sweet Carl. We were gonna do Necrotronic tonight, but we decided to do it at the end of the month with a double feature of Strange Darling, which was also a listener request. So we're gonna do Necrotronic and Strange Darling, I think January 29th.
I
Yep,
believe
It's gonna be
so.
fun.
For show.
Heck yeah.
Also, send us more movies to watch.
You don't have to physically send the movie, we'll find it, but give us more things to review
Yeah.
and fun stuff to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like hanging out. It's
But I
fun.
mean, if you want to send us movies.
Mhm.
But speaking of Christopher St. Saucy, good night. We have an email.
Woohoo!
We got letters.
We have letter?
Oh, we
we've
have
got
lots and lots and lots and lots of letters.
Sang that
This is called Your Email, if you choose to accept it.
Mm.
I ranked the Mission Impossible movies earlier this year. I won't tell you all of them. I'll let you assemble the list and piece together the order as you make your way through the franchise. I rank this one, MI2, third. I enjoyed it because he thought we were doing MI2 tonight. is
I
the thing.
presume you meant MI2. You ranked as third.
I ranked this one, MI2, third. I enjoyed it a lot at the time, but it's nothing like the series. The impossible missions were things like, you have to pose as a prince and solve this puzzle box. And since there is no way for you to solve it, you have to swap out the actual puzzle box for one that we've made that you can solve. That was an actual episode I caught in a hotel room on vacation with my folks one time. It was very, very low stakes. From what I remember, it wasn't an action franchise.
Talking about the TV show.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. It fostered my longtime hate for John Voight. Turns
Fair.
out you're right.
Totally
Valid.
fair.
You know what? Good on you.
Totally fair.
Though he does have one of my favorite lines. They stamped it, didn't they? Those damn Gideons.
that was pretty funny.
I don't remember that line at all.
Oh, the Bible, the Drake Hotel Bible.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Provided by the Gideons.
Yeah.
And that's how
That we knew.
Ethan Hunt knew that he was alive.
That's right. That's right.
Those damn Gideons.
He says, oops, no, Mission Impossible 1 is ranked third.
Oh, cool.
Because it's not like the other Missions Impossible.
So I assume you're going to start giving us your ranking as we do the reviews?
Yeah.
Because then we're going to have a full ranking episode after we do all
The show.
the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week we're going to talk about Mission Impossible 2. It'll be fun.
So yeah, thank you so much, Christopher St. Saucy. Good night. We're going to move on to the next part of the show, which I like to call What's Poppin',
Where?
wherein I ask my friends Alice and Just Noel,
Just me.
what's been popping for them since last we were together here.
Mm.
I was going to say twixt, but that doesn't make any sense.
Well, if it was
that's one
between
word
then
to
and
say,
now.
Before we were betwixt then and now. That would make sense.
There you go.
But usually it means like the placement between there and now, not
Uh-huh.
now.
Oh, shoot.
So like, right? Like we're physically in the now, not the betwixt.
yeah, but the
But what
thing,
happened in
thing
the
that was
betwixt?
What
popping
happened
was in the
betwixt?
betwixt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
Okay. What's popping betwixt?
Hey, Alice, what was popping betwixt then and now?
Yeah. Betwixt.
Yeah.
What's your
Hi.
favorite Twix?
My favorite,
The
the
left
left.
Oh, I meant flavor, you nerds. Fucking, oh my God. Oh, the
There's
left one from is the logo in front of you or behind you? When you open it, is left or right? Is it your left or my right?
He doesn't get it.
I
He'll
get
never-
it.
He does
No,
not
I get it.
understand. We're betwixt.
I get it. I meant what flavor of Twix is your favorite?
Other flavors?
well, yeah,
yeah.
there's like white chocolate. There's yeah, I wouldn't recommend
There's
that
a
one.
white. I love white chocolate.
Oh,
There's
I
a
hate white chocolate.
Twix.
It is.
I love white.
There's white chocolate Kit Kat.
I've had that.
No, there's a white chocolate Twix.
I've never had anything other
There's-
than a traditional
there's a
Twix.
peanut butter
There's a
Twix?
peanut butter. There's a
Pretty
cookies and cream,
banging.
peanut butter, caramel,
Peanut butter would probably be my favorite, but I haven't
dark
had
chocolate
it.
one.
So
Can
right
we-
now it's still left.
Can we do a whole Twix episode where we just
If you
feed
want
me
to, if you want
Twix?
to find Twix, actually, it might be more fun to do a Kit Kat episode
Those are disgusting.
of all the random flavors of Kit
I've
Kat.
never
Oh my
had
gosh,
a-
my sister and I did that one time. We had like all of the like Asian flavors
miss
of
going
Kit
off
Kat
the
and we
rails
were
with you
trying to
guys.
guess what each flavor was. It was so funny. That was, yeah,
A
they were all
blind
good.
Kit Kat
What
taste
does
Fine.
Asian? What does Asian taste like?
Asian Kit Kat?
She said they were Asian flavored.
I said they were
Flavors?
Asian flavors from like,
Okay. Hey Alice, what's popping for
Say
you
what it-
betwixt then and now?
Betwixt Asian flavored Kit Kat and now. Somewhere in there.
So you mean the Kit Kats that are from Asia and have different
Yes.
flavors?
yes.
I would, because they're from Asia, they taste like Asian.
Detroiters?
Yeah.
Are we
Spoiler
kicking
alert.
it? But did you watch Detroiters between the left and right Twix?
Yeah.
Or betwixt
Well, no,
the
I
left and
throw
right
away
Twix?
the right one. It's
Oh, it's sullied.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, so I started watching Detroiters on the recommendation of our producer Dylan.
Hey,
If you're in Australia, do you
Or they
eat
reversed.
the right Twix first? Because
Probably.
that's how it works.
okay, sorry, go on.
Anyway,
Detroiters.
Detroiters. Dylan recommended this to me because we both found out that we liked the show I Think You Should Leave
Yeah.
with Tim
Oh,
Robinson.
yeah. I mostly
And-
like that show.
It's like it's
My love language.
stupid
This is my
humor.
love language.
It's my love language. It's
What's
just
his name? Tim
such-
Robbins?
Yeah,
Tim Robinson is my love language. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was not disappointed with Detroiters. I binged it all so quickly. It's delightful. It's like goofy and they still have the same kind of humor as in I Think You Should Leave, but it's a little more heartfelt. Like it's not, yeah.
Maybe that's what I need.
Yeah.
2 seasons, Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson, and they developed the show
Mhm.
and wrote the show.
Yeah.
They're also both from Detroit and giant Detroit Lions
Yeah.
fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. They also did a video where they announced the Detroit Lions schedule.
Yeah.
What if we have one that comes up here? Like, I love that video. I watched that video. I'm not even a giant fan of Detroit. But I'm sorry, Costa. I'm kind of hoping Detroit goes all the way this year.
Don't just be sorry to Costa, be sorry to me.
In general.
I'm a Bills fan.
Yeah, I know you're a Bills fan, but he's, he's really into it.
I forgot that there's a team
you
called
both really
the
into
Bills.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we don't talk about football. Let's talk about football more.
Let's talk about football.
Yeah.
My brother's
this
a
guy.
Jets
Not here,
fan.
though.
Look at this guy.
Let's do it
My
somewhere
brother's
else.
a Jets fan, but he's been cheering for so he's been cheering for the Lions. So I've had this
The
conversation.
Lions,
a few times.
they're a good organization.
Mhm.
Like, everything just seems to be clicking. I think they're.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
JD,
Detroiters, great show
Oh, cool.
on Netflix. Costa Go Bills.
go Bills.
Yeah, Costa also watched Detroiters with me, and we were cracking up. There's one joke in the first episode, like towards the end, that just like I was like, all right, I'm so into this show.
Is it Woman on Top?
It was Woman on Top.
I didn't give this a
The
shot.
post-it note that he just puts at the end. I was dying laughing, and I was like, all right, we got to keep watching this.
It only lasted. It was on Comedy Central. It only lasted in 2017. It only lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah.
This is before. I wish you would leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you should.
man.
I think you should leave. Sorry.
Mhm.
I want you to go away.
Yeah.
I want you to leave me alone.
Don't be here anymore.
Go fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll
highly
check it out.
recommend. It's I think
Thanks.
you'd like
I'll
it.
check
It's
that out,
fun.
yeah.
It's fun.
I have, my wife asked me this question. What is, and sorry, I didn't prep you for this. What movie did you laugh the most at, the hardest at? If you in your entire life, do you have like a memory where you're just like, that was the funniest I've ever, or the most I've ever laughed, the funniest thing I've ever
I
seen?
need to revisit that.
South Park, bigger, longer, uncut.
That was one of them? Or
Probably.
that is it?
It's a tie between that and Liar Liar.
Oh, nice. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of them hold up now because they were just very much of the time. But yeah, I remember not being able to breathe.
I was a big Jim Carrey fan.
Especially in South Park, I remember not being able to breathe. Specifically, the like Canadians being. If anybody's not seen that movie, I think it still kind of
Blame
holds up.
Canada.
Yeah, but that it was a straight musical, and I was just learning about musicals at the time. Like they literally had a third act or like before act break reprise of 4 songs. Have you
Mhm.
seen?
Yes,
the
it's
South Park
been a
movie?
while, but
It
yes.
is so structurally perfect.
Yeah.
See, now,
Yeah.
remember we were talking about Wicked, and I said I didn't leave Wicked humming any of the songs. I still, to this day, will remember the
Yeah.
South Park, the Blame Canada.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah,
banger.
I know it by heart.
It's a banger that slaps.
There's one specific. Is Conan O'Brien Canadian? There was a Conan O'Brien joke where he jumped off the roof and it was like a Canadians dying across the country in America, and I don't know why. I couldn't breathe in the theater.
okay.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Remember.
That's okay. You don't have to.
I'm
was your
gonna
answer?
think.
I think-
Yeah, what was yours?
Mine was either Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh,
That
that's
one's
right.
so good.
say.
Yeah, that might be one of
I
mine.
was gonna say that.
might be it.
Yeah, right?
I still okay. The follow up shows were not that
good.
great.
Not good.
However, I still quote one line specifically from the second show or the first show. What was the show that had fucking Reagan as a character?
Second one.
Second one?
Yeah.
so.
Mm.
Still quote it to this day. Shit on my shit. Do it. Shit on my shit. Because he
I-
like poops on the model and he makes the guy like poop on the model. Poop on my poop. Do it.
I did not get that
Like it
far
was
in
like
the
a
show.
weird
What?
hazing of like shit
Yeah.
on my shit.
I think I gave up.
When anybody doesn't flush the toilet before I go, it's just like, come shit on my shit. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
You're welcome. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. That's sloppy.
Popping.
That's not popping.
That's
That's
sloppy.
slopping.
I thought
It's a
of
funny
a
show.
movie.
You did it.
I vamped long enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
you did. Thank you. Thank you for your shit on your
Scream.
shit. No, I do love
Shit on my
Scream.
shit.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh,
There's
that's a good one.
some bits in it, like the
Oh.
bit where he's like running and then they cut away and then he's still running from
Oh.
even further away. Every
I
time
love
gets
that.
me.
That's
It's
a good
like
bit.
that's like the
Yeah.
same kind of like dumb
Yeah,
humor
you know,
that I'm just like, that's what I love.
I think I was like 7 or 8, and we were
yeah, I was like a kid when I
were
first saw it, and I was
recreating
like,
the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Just a flesh wound.
I was him for Halloween
I
one year.
feel happy.
See, it's so good.
Yeah, it's very quotable. And the other one, the runner-up would be, strangely, Deadpool Wolverine.
I was thinking
Oh,
that too.
Sushan and I were in tears, gasping because we were having so much. It was so funny.
Fun movie.
Having a lot of trouble. Anyway, sorry. Hey, Noel.
Yo.
What's
what
your
was poppin'
favorite
for
Twix?
you? What's your favorite Twix?
Caramel, and I eat both at the same time. I just fucking house it through the wrap.
You ever try to make them look like walrus teeth?
No,
Me neither.
because that's
I would-
frankly
I
that's
would
fucking
never.
stupid.
Damn.
No, I was kidding. It's dumb.
We're killing it tonight. You're
We
welcome,
haven't
guys.
seen each other in like weeks and we can't keep it together.
Anyway, there's 2 things I want to talk about that we're kind of like watching.
Uh-huh.
And I watch it like this. I stand in front of the TV and I just like, ugh.
And I'm over there like this.
Yeah. Movie night. You do this and I'll
Yeah.
just do this the whole time.
And then there's Sam.
So
It's just like,
our spouses are just like, what is happening? Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I'm caught up with Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Oh.
There are 7 episodes out and there will be 8. So the finale is coming up soon.
mhm.
Mhm.
This is a well-produced, delightful, perfectly cast show with some of the best practical special effects going on right now. Like they use stop motion. They use they're doing this.
Really?
Yes. Watching the show, you could tell why it took so long to produce.
Yeah.
Because they're literally doing they do stop motion animation of like a giant creature and then just digitally touch it up. Stuff like that.
No.
Full costume animatronics, like the whole night. It's a really, 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 really beautiful, well done show. It's also kind of boring.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
We have invested 7 hours or maybe like 6 hours, some of the 40-minute episodes. And it still feels like an incredibly prolonged first act. This most recent episode ended with like what they thought was a cliffhanger,
Oh,
but it
no.
was really just removing the beat from a reveal. You know, like
Yeah.
like the parents show up and the bad guy is standing there and one of them's like, yeet. And then we cut away. Like, that's not a cliffhanger. That's not a tease for the next bit. That's just you faded to black mid scene.
Too early, yeah.
And it's giving me Acolyte vibes, which I really, really liked Acolyte.
Mhm.
I liked a lot of elements of Acolyte.
Exactly.
Right.
I liked a lot
Yeah.
of it, but I hated the episodic format for that story. Because
Mhm.
every time there was some momentum, they cut you off at the knees, and not in a fun way where I can't wait what happens next. More in a, what?
Yeah.
You didn't even tell me a whole story.
Yeah.
It's not unlike when you're reading a comic and it's like, oh, this is definitely for the trade.
Mhm.
Because they're just leaving bits out to make it longer.
Yeah.
It's exactly how this feels. And
What a bummer.
I want to recommend it. It is such a well done show and overall net positive, but fuck, it sucks week to week. It really does. It's not enticing like
Yeah.
breadcrumbs. It's like, we'll wait for 3 or 4 of them because
Yeah.
this is not as fun to watch week to week.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't excited about it. I was curious.
Mhm.
I heard that it was like, oh, the Goonies, but in Star Wars. And that's exactly what it is.
Great logline.
But yeah, it's like, it's not quite hidden for me.
When they finally do get to reveals, there's some really, really good ones.
Mhm.
Like some good Star Wars lore, like really good Star Wars lore.
Oh, yeah.
And it focuses exclusively on pirates and how piracy kind of works in the Star Wars universe, which we've only gotten little like dabbles of. I don't read every novel, so I do not know if this has been tread or not.
Yeah.
But, you know, we get a lot of like cool Star Wars stuff. But it's almost paced sleepily. And then something cool happens, and then we go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But also the main character is a little insufferable.
The little kid,
Wim, the curly-haired kid.
not a good actor.
I don't
no.
Sorry.
Look,
Sorry.
with kid actors, maybe it's the direction you're giving them, but also the character itself only exists to do what you tell him not to.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no characterization behind it.
Yeah.
It's like, never touch that button. You're like, fucking Wim's gonna. He
He's gonna
literally
touch
doesn't
it.
even have a moment of thought. He's just like, that's one. Well, I mean,
Don't mind if I do.
he's like 8 or 9, but he's like characterized like a 2-year-old
Yeah.
who doesn't know how to not, right? Every other character is great, but like the main one is just kind of
You
insufferable.
know who I kind of love?
Neil.
Kim.
Oh yeah.
Kim's awesome. KH''YMM. Aaliyah Shawkat.
Wait, what?
The little owl lady.
Oh, wonderful. She's
Wonderful.
absolutely wonderful.
She's
I
delightful.
didn't know that was Aaliyah Shawkat.
Yeah, I had to look it up. It's Aaliyah Shawkat.
There's literally like an alien owl lady, and she's awesome.
She's red. I
No.
hope she shows up again.
Cooler than that, SM-33, the like the droid.
Yeah.
It's Frost. Nick
Yeah.
Frost.
Yeah.
He is a
Oh
pirate
shit.
droid. He looks like K2SO.
Yeah.
He looks like K2SO, but like pirated out
Yeah.
and like really, really violent.
Can't say I remember. No,
and
Atten.
with a peg leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is
I love
absolutely awesome. Like there is so much good shit in this show,
Mhm.
but I want it to just be. This is a 2.5-hour movie,
Yeah.
not an 8-hour endeavor.
Yeah.
It really like you are not world building that intensely to require this runtime. I really do think it's just like
I also,
arbitrary.
like, in the beginning, we're supposed to not know it's Jude Law, and then he reveals himself to be Jude Law. I'm like, yeah, Jude, I saw you. Like, you could, because you covered half your face with a hood doesn't mean I don't know you're Jude Law.
The whole show too is like it hinges on archetypes.
Yeah.
When you hinge on archetypes that strongly, you don't need to spend 40 minutes setting up the archetype.
Yeah.
People have
Because they're archetypes.
yes, people literally have that predisposed knowledge because they experience
Know
other
what a
media.
pirate is.
that.
Yeah. So you don't like you could literally just pass through this shit
Yeah.
and they don't.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, I it's a really fun show, but God, I wish it was different.
Sure.
There's more good than bad, but like it is rough week to week. I could see
Yeah.
people dropping off.
Mm.
What's the other thing?
Oh, my wife randomly started watching High Potential, which is a new procedural on
yes.
ABC, starring Caitlin Olsen. She plays a single mother of 3 who has a ridiculously high IQ and ends up falling forward into helping the police. It is so by the numbers. It's insane,
That's why those shows
But
are
it's-
so good.
but it is so fun.
yeah.
Like everyone is charming. Everything is really fun. When you have a main character that is supposed to be smarter than absolutely everyone around them,
Mhm.
you can get away with like info dumps. You can get away with
Mhm.
with inorganic dialogue. Because she's literally thinking ahead of everything,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is really fun. It's
Yeah, she's
just
a
a really
Sherlock
fun show.
trope.
I was just
We-
gonna say,
we
is
watched,
there a
like, 5
Watson
episodes.
to her Sherlock in the show?
There's a main what's the actor Daniel Sunjata.
Like
Yeah.
the detective.
He's the
that's-
main detective that
oh,
is
Judy Reyes.
that's
is in
her
it.
foil. Yeah, Judy Reyes is the
Oh,
boss.
she's
Mhm.
she's like the
Um,
chief.
Yeah, he's her main foil.
Mhm.
Kind of like you're a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
that kind of level of
Mhm.
Watson, not a hanger on.
This is one of those shows where I go, why is Caitlin Olsen in this show? But then I go, oh, well, thank goodness Caitlin Olsen is in this
Oh,
show
yeah.
because she
She absolutely
is the
crushes
reason to
this.
watch it.
Yeah, this has like fun early seasons of Castle vibes.
Nice.
I've never watched Castle.
Oh, I liked Castle.
Although I like David Boreanaz.
Nathan
That's Bones.
Fillion.
That's Bones.
Bones.
Also early
Sorry.
seasons of Bones kind of vibes where it's
Sorry.
still kind of new and
Confuse
fun.
my bones
Now,
and my
7 seasons into this, I won't care.
Mhm.
But right now it's fun and nice
Yeah,
and new
charming.
and cute.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Are there any morgue scenes?
There's none in the morgue yet, but there
Mhm.
are bodies.
Damn.
I think that's loose enough, right?
Like, yeah.
Like there's bodies and kidnappings and
death.
stuff.
There's death. There's
It's-
death investigation. Sure.
It's
All right.
a little bit more copy than
All
it
right.
is.
Stay tuned. That
Steady?
might be one of
Yeah.
our Inside the Morgue
More
shows.
copy than
We need
morgue-y.
more shows to watch.
Yeah. JD though,
oh hey,
Let's move on to the next topic because you don't matter.
No,
What's poppin' for you?
I was we've been watching a whole bunch of movies.
Prepping for award season?
Yes. Yeah, actually. And so we wound up watching Challengers, which is a rated R 2024 release, starring what's her nuts? Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Faist. And it's a tennis movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't know if I want to watch a tennis movie, but it is a Zendaya movie. And I was like, I'll probably want to watch a Zendaya movie. Zendaya.
I was just
Zendaya?
trying. I think it's Zendaya.
Dylan?
I have heard both.
Damn it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Have you heard one that was more correct?
Did you hear the right one?
Yeah.
So yeah, Challengers is a sport movie, but kind of like 15% sport movie. The rest is a relationship movie about these three kids who are all just trying to go pro in tennis. And then it jumps around between them meeting as, let's say, like early teens, and then now, which is them in their probably 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of the relationships that they have with each other, which is not quite a throuple, not quite poly, but like it's got hints of that, little sprinklings of that. It's not quite defined. And it's one of the most well-shot sports movies of really just movies.
Yeah, you're
just
not really
movies.
a sportman.
No, but I've seen sport movies. And it's a gorgeous film. The camera work is fantastic. There has to be like CG involved with some of the shots because they're so kind of intricate and they maneuver in a way that the world does not, which is very, very cool. And they really shoot a tennis match in probably the most engaging way possible. If you had to shoot a tennis match, it's wonderful. I really like it. The end was so effective for me. I got such a rush at the end of the movie, like right before the credits hit, that I rewound it and watched the last 10 minutes again immediately. I was just like, whoa, I got chills, and I like rewound it.
Dope.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
I can't tell if I like any of the characters.
I don't know if you're supposed to.
And
Right.
I'm not quite sure who I'm supposed to root for in these three, but they're certainly interesting to watch, and what they put each other through and go through is very engaging and very interesting. Highly recommend Challengers. And then, yeah, just wait for the end. I love the end. It's so fun. Such a fun end.
I do need to see it.
I know.
It's been on the list for way too long.
Same.
Luca Guadagnino, the director, you were looking him up. It's Suspiria.
Yeah. Suspiria remake, which I like better than the
Call Me by Your
Suspiria
Name,
regular.
Challengers, and this year's Queer. But to tie it back to Nerd, he is rumored to be doing something for DCU.
Oh, word.
Sergeant Rock.
Sure. I don't care.
Yeah, anything, right?
Between Suspiria and Challengers,
Anything.
yeah, man, give the
do whatever
dude
you want. Yeah,
give the dude whatever.
Give him a check.
Yeah.
Fine.
So yeah, highly recommend Challengers.
American Psycho
Streaming.
also. He's remaking American Psycho.
Oh, right. I did hear about that.
I take it back. All the nice things I just said about give him whatever. Don't give him whatever.
I don't have.
Don't do a remake of American Psycho.
I have no affection for that movie. So
I
I'm
love
fine.
that movie.
Yeah.
Do you like American Psycho?
I love American Psycho.
Did you read the sequel comic book?
No, I have the comics. Yeah, but
the
no, I
comic
haven't.
was pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't read
It's like
all the comics. I have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sequel that takes place during.
Probably need to revisit American Psycho because
I love that
really, really disliked
I read
it.
the novel and thought it was hilarious.
It
That's
may,
when I did a Halloween costume.
it may
one
be
year.
like an aversion thing. You know, everyone talking
Is
about
it
how
similar to like
yeah.
the fan base, like how we've talked about,
Kind of.
like why I was avoiding
I can't-
Gladiator for
I
a
can't
while?
watch it
And
in
the
a
Dave Matthews
vacuum.
Band.
I
Mhm.
can't watch it in a vacuum without everybody telling me that it's fucking amazing. I was like, I've seen it.
And it's
I
Yeah.
think it's a cliche.
and
Well,
a lot
now
of
it
people
is.
don't get. Sorry.
Or yeah, Fight Club today. Had I
Yes.
not experienced Fight Club in a bubble where and how it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But now like the memification of Bateman,
Mhm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care.
I can get that.
I don't
Yeah.
care at all.
Yeah.
So remake it. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Mhm.
I also just
Nothing's
love
precious.
watching Patrick Bateman. Yeah, I like watching Patrick Bateman. I like the actor playing him.
Did you
It's very watchable.
like Rules of Engagement afterward?
No.
Rules of Attraction. Sorry.
No, I didn't.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Christopher's in the chat saying it's a movie is sold out on the false promise of a threesome that doesn't happen.
American Psycho.
American Psycho, yeah.
Actually, a threesome does happen in that
threesome
movie.
does happen. Sabrina, don't stare at it. Eat it. Carl says Challengers was great. Great film with an amazing score. Oh, dude. Yeah, the whole time I'm going, man, this soundtrack, this score is awesome. And then, of course, at the end, it's Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor.
I am such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Give me.
We've been saying that.
I wasted my What's Poppin'.
Okay.
Absolutely
Tough,
wasted
you don't
my
get
What's
another
Poppin'. Can I just really quickly?
You're going to tell us that you like the left Twix.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep bringing that back.
We got time. This year's the 30th anniversary of Seven.
Oh.
There is a new 4K transfer, and my wife and I went and saw it in IMAX last week.
Everyone liked that movie, so I didn't like it.
Fuck off.
No, I love Seven. It's so good. It's so good. How is the
I admit to my aversion with people shoving things down my throat.
Mm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How was the viewing? Screening?
When was the last time you watched it all the way through?
Long time ago.
Right?
Yeah. But I feel like I could.
Have you guys done it for the morning?
Kevin Spacey getting canceled. That was the last time I watched it.
So
very long time ago.
5 to 10 years at least. Yeah. Dylan?
Probably, yeah. Actually, no, probably.
We've discussed doing it on Inside
4 or
Morgue.
5 years ago.
There's like 3 really, really good morgue scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Or if maybe 15 for me. Because, I just know it by heart.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched it.
I watched it so many times back then.
First of all, the transfer is fucking gorgeous. I've never seen the movie look that good. It was a 30-year-old movie, sold out auditorium.
And that was 30 years ago.
It was the most respectful audience I have ever sat in my entire life. Everyone was so fucking dialed in, like edge of your seat dialed in, and it was so cool.
Oh, I love
so cool. The gentleman next to me had a Star Wars High Republic book bag, and I was just like, that is really cool. I hope you guys enjoy your show.
Nice.
And everyone was just dialed in. No screens, nothing. It was awesome. The movie.
Where was this?
AMC 24 in Cherry Hill.
Oh, maybe that's the theater to go to.
I know. I was like, maybe I'll pay $6 to go over the bridge for this movie theater.
Jeez.
Anyway, it is still really, really effective and good. Like, I knew everything that was going to happen, but all of us for the last 5 minutes were just like really like.
Maybe this time it'll come out different.
Yeah.
This time something else will be in the box.
Yeah.
but I also realized it's a movie that you can't pull that off again. Like, the movie is so explicitly 1993.
Mm-hmm.
The city has no name. Like, I don't even know if the story would work if it wasn't that period of time where there were no smartphones or accessibility.
Right.
Because if you think about it too, like, I don't know if people understand now, like, unless you're over 40, there really was a period of time where you were not in direct contact with your spouse for hours or days because it just wasn't available. Yeah. So, like, watching it now, thinking like, he doesn't just take a call from his wife. He doesn't know she's been missing for 12 hours. Like, no, he doesn't, because there was no way to get a hold of anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it exists in this little vacuum of like, it really fucking works. Oh. And I don't know if it could ever work outside of that setting. Right.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Like, I feel like watching this now is like, in film school, them telling us 20 years ago, them telling us to watch The French Connection.
Yeah.
Or Bullet. These classic movies that are very much of their time, but like completely different and new and still hold up. Seven now is for the next generation. And it was such a good experience.
Like,
so
even
good.
I remember,
so good.
I remember just being blown away by the filmmaking in that movie, the score, the
intro sequence alone.
What?
The intro sequence alone.
Which I forgot about. And
so good.
So, you mean the credits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the credits.
The cold open is dialogueless with Morgan Freeman just going through his day, hitting the sound, the tempo clicker.
Metronome,
thank you. And then it just smash cuts into 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
That was the first movie that did that too. Like, we see that shit all the time now.
David Fincher, man.
Yeah, but Sam next to me, because she hadn't watched it in so long too, she was just like, is this 9 Inch Nails? I was just like, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I wasted it.
You know what? Forget his other pop-ins.
Yeah.
That's the one to listen to.
I wasted so much time on Star Wars. It is now available if you have a 4K Blu-ray HD or whatever. Fucking pick it up. Like, the comparison between the 35, they went back to the actual 35 negative and reprocessed it completely. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
This is no one cares. I
Care.
we were talking about DVD. You was it a tweet or something where you were talking about the Fight Club DVD box set,
Yeah.
which was like it looked like it was brown paper and
It's a
inside
soap.
it's got the fold out.
The fold out is a bar of soap too. I have it at home.
Yeah, same. The other one I have is the 7 one.
It's a notebook.
It's John Doe's notebook.
Oh, that's awesome.
God damn. Oh,
The
so
third,
cool.
So there was 3 DVD sets to get
Yeah.
30 years ago.
At the time, yeah.
It was Fight Club, which was the box of soap. The notebook, like the sleeve inside was a notebook. The other one was Memento. The set was a file, one of his files, and you open it up, and there was actual like papers with a clip on it that you couldn't lose.
I had
Miss
all
that
3
stuff.
of those. It's
Yeah.
right. Physical media, baby.
I have gotten rid of so many. Those 3 are still in my shelf
Yeah.
in my office.
Yeah. That and the Lord of the Rings extended cuts.
They
Mhm.
look
It just looks so
they look
nice.
like Bibles.
Yeah. Hey, anyway, hi guys. You're still here listening to us. Sorry, we were having our own thing. Welcome back. Isaac Dees says, what did you guys think of the 1979 version of Nosferatu with...
I haven't
I
watched
didn't
it yet,
see
but I was.
79. I saw the other one.
Should we get into the... did we do it?
We did it.
Main
We're going
review.
We're
It's
getting
main
to
review time. Thank you,
Oh.
Isaac.
Yes.
We'll do pop culture resolution some other time. Yeah.
We're running long.
Call an audible.
So, yeah, we're here to talk about Nosferatu, not the book by Joe Hill.
That's
I
nice.
have never... wait.
Those are numbers.
I've never seen the 1979
Nosfer.
version of Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski. Have you?
No, I haven't. It's directed by Werner Herzog, though. I've had it recommended to me,
Uh-huh.
and
Have you?
I've heard it's good.
Then Herzog?
Mhm.
No.
No.
I've only seen the 1922.
Isaac and everyone... Oh, Pink. Pink's in the chat. The American Psycho remake was debunked. It was a false rumor. Yeah, idiot.
Oh, great.
This guy.
Great.
Pink, did
Either
you
way,
see American
fucking
Psycho
remake
2? Starring Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, right? I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Remake all American Psychos. I don't give a shit.
Isaac Dees, I have a confession to make.
Isaac D's nuts.
We don't know Isaac.
D's.
Be nice.
D's.
We don't know Isaac Dees nuts.
D's
I'm sorry, Isaac.
Where'd I put
I
D's nuts?
have never seen any Nosferatu except for the one that we're talking about this evening.
So you haven't seen Nosferatu 1
Or
Nosferatu
3?
2
Yeah.
or Nosferatu?
You haven't seen that one episode of
Nosferatu?
SpongeBob where he appears?
No.
Man,
No.
that's a fun episode of
Now, I
SpongeBob.
did see the
I saw
movie
somebody ask Robert
that
Eggers.
also had...
Nosferatu.
I did see another movie that had Willem Dafoe in it about
I
Nosferatu.
was going to
Bat.
bring that up.
Shadow
Yeah.
of the Bat.
Yes.
Yeah, so cool.
No.
No,
Is that
it
what
wasn't
it's called?
Shadow of the Bat.
Something
That's
Shadow.
a Batman book, comic book.
But he was Nosferatu in that.
Yeah,
He was Max Shrek. Yeah.
Max Shrek, yeah.
Yes.
So not only did I not see Nosferatu, going into this movie, I was surprised to discover that Nosferatu is just a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Shadow of the Vampire.
There you go. I had no idea that I thought this whole time Nosferatu was like just a German vampire movie that had nothing to do with Bram Stoker's. Like they had their
Silly
own
goose.
vampire tale, their
Nope.
own.
This fucking
This
guy.
rube.
This guy.
Ah.
oh, they're different.
And so, we're watching, we're like 10 minutes, I guess it takes a while to get there, but like half hour in and I'm like, wait a
This
tick.
seems
this,
familiar.
yeah.
If the original Nosferatu was today, the internet would be talking about how absolute trash it is, and it's just a ripoff
Yeah.
of
Yes.
everything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, the 1922 ripoff of Bram Stoker.
Yeah. Which I did not realize. I was listening to the Dead Meat podcast today, and turns out, who directed the original? Anyone know?
Oh God, I have it pulled up.
The original director, they didn't have the rights to Bram Stoker's Dracula, so they just made this movie called Murnau.
F.W. Murnau.
That's yes. To avoid litigation.
Mhm.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
Still got sued.
Yeah.
Still got this pantsuit off them, and they were supposed to destroy all the copies of it. Thank goodness that didn't happen,
Mhm.
because I would like to still see the original. Check it out when you have time. It's very beautiful. The dialogue, the cinematography, Lucy and lighting. Lucy?
Mhm.
Lucy and everything. It's a masterpiece.
I've heard that. We went with some friends to go see this one, and they've seen all of the Nosferatus, and they're like, if you're gonna do like a double feature when you get home, watch the 1979 one instead of the 1922 one.
I mean,
But I was
isn't
sleepy.
the original kind of short?
It's 80 minutes.
Yeah, you could probably
Yeah.
just slap them both together.
Yeah.
Did you?
And
I
this-
was too sleepy
Too
after
sleepy.
this movie.
All right. So, yeah, that ties into, I think, what Noel's got to say about this film.
Oh
So
no!
Nosferatu, released in 2024, last week. It has a 36%.
Oh no, just keep going.
Oh. Directed by Robert
Scared
Eggers,
me
written
too.
by Robert Eggers, starring Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, Willem. Watch your mouth. It's Willem, not William. Defoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson, and
Yeah.
and another Emma Corrin.
And Emma Corrin again.
Yeah.
As herself.
Who else was she?
Yeah.
Who was
She's all the Emmas.
in the 1830s, estate agent Thomas Hutter travels to Transylvania for a fateful meeting with Count Orlok, a prospective client. In his absence, Hutter's new bride, Ellen, is left under the care of their friends Friedrich and Anna Harding. Plagued by horrific visions and an increasing sense of dread, Ellen soon encounters an evil force that's far beyond her control. We've all been there. So, as we said, nope, none of us. Wait, you've seen a Nosferatu?
Yeah, I saw the 1922 one in college.
And, tell us about it briefly.
It's a silent film.
That was brief.
It's atmospheric. It's black and white atmospheric, a silent film that uses a lot of shadow, flat screen, a lot of shadow, and just it's very claustrophobic and pretty effective. It's moody. It's just moody and vibey.
Is it one of the ones where,
in
like,
the
text pops on the screen in between scenes? Okay.
yeah. It was in the same week or 2 weeks of school where we watched Metropolis and Nosferatu and Birth of a Nation, and so it's in this hodgepodge of these movies aren't viewed to assess good or bad. It's more like the things you like now in film were started here, and they did it like this, and they did it like this. Because when you watch something like Birth of a Nation, it's the most racist fucking movie in the world. However, the camera work is still impressive.
Yeah.
And it still is like the largest scope of like, I mean, Dylan, did you ever have to study?
Yeah. I mean, I watched it in a race class in school.
It's wildly racist, terrible movie. However, like in a vacuum, they make you watch it to kind of understand where like this type of cinematography even comes from. So it was kind of like in that same like 2 or 3 week period of silent films when I watched Nosferatu, didn't fall asleep.
Nice. Well,
There's a couple that I felt
it's only 80 minutes long.
like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Sorry, I kind of fell asleep. Battleship Potemkin, kind of fell asleep.
Yeah.
This one, I stayed awake. It was good.
Metropolis is awesome.
Metropolis is cool
I
as shit.
still have not
Fritz
seen
Lang is the man.
I still have not seen that. So, all right. So, do you want to start us off with your Nosferatu thoughts?
I feel, even though I don't feel negative about this movie, I feel like I'll come off as negative compared to you guys. So why don't you guys go ahead first?
Hey, Alice. What did you think of Nosferatu?
Fucking loved it.
Fucking loved it.
I fucking loved it.
Me too.
To be fair, this is my not liking things in a chill way. I fucking love vampires. I love Victorian Gothic shit. The Victorian, I bring this up on every podcast I'm on. The Victorian era is a niche interest of mine. So anytime you slap that in a movie and
Is
you
that
make
your
it,
Roman Empire?
it is my Roman Empire. It's the
Nice.
Victorian
Nice.
era.
With or
Especially
without
when you-
sharks?
Coliseum
all
full
the
of
sharks, all the
Put
vampires.
those sharks in some
Get
fucking
the
columns.
sharks.
Let's go.
No, I
So-
thought of you, Alice, when I was in the theater. I'm like, Alice is gonna love this. Vampires and old timey medicine. Get out of here.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say this could be inside the morgue.
Yeah,
They literally examine like 3 bodies in this.
yeah, but
Done.
no women examine bodies.
Oh,
We're
is
too
that a
busy wearing our
prerequisite?
corsets.
Yeah.
Being
Oh well, yeah.
so. But yeah, no, yeah, they did. I did get very excited when there was a scene in like a morgue area. I was like, oh my god, that's me.
Content.
Write that down. Write that down. Like,
started taking notes.
yeah, it just had everything I loved. I loved the way they desaturated the movie, so it was like almost black and white, but not quite. And then the only warm lighting that you saw was by candlelight. It's just like I loved everything about it.
Nice flashes of color.
Yep.
But it's sort of
Technically master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So my experience with this was we went to a preview screening of it, and it was a very small theater in downtown Philly. It used to be Ritz at the Boars, but now it's something at the Boars. PFS at the Boars or something. So very tiny theater, but they cranked that volume. It was a very small room, kind of claustrophobic, and past the point of me going, oh, wait a minute, this is Bram Stoker's Dracula. The more we got into it, the more I think the tension was ratcheted up for me specifically, just from the soundtrack, the way that everyone speaks in that in this, the dialogue in the film, and just the loudness of it. I started to get a bit of agita. Like
Mhm.
I was in my seat kind of vibrating a little bit because of how much stuff ratchets up and then doesn't quite ever release.
That was the smaller screening room.
Yeah.
I know that one. It's
Yeah.
like there's only one aisle.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to like
It's like someone's
get in
living
one
room.
side of it, and I've been in living room screening rooms that are bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Weird
I don't
humble
know. Yeah,
brag.
I don't know.
I've seen
But then
rich people that are bigger than that.
poor Sushan, she was having a coughing fit, like I want to say a half hour before the movie ended. So we actually just had to book it out of there. So we didn't get to finish it. But I was kind of relieved. Like it's one of the most visceral, or I had a more visceral reaction to this vampire movie than any other vampire movie I've ever seen. There is something about the way that this was shot, the way the presentation of it, the dialogue and the sound that sort of like gave me a little bit of anxiety. So when we were like, oh, we got to leave? Okay, we could leave. We're good. I don't know what was wrong with me, but we finally got
Sense of
to what?
It's a sense of dread
It was-
that they're building in the movie.
It really was effective. And we finally got to finish it like last week or so, I think. We just watched the last half hour and I love it. I love this movie so much. I'm not the hugest fan of his previous film, The Lighthouse.
Which one? Yeah.
The Lighthouse.
The
was
Witch?
Fine. I love The Witch.
Have you seen The
Mhm.
Northman? I haven't seen The Northman.
I haven't seen The Northman yet.
Mm.
I want to see that. But yeah, everything about this I think is fantastic. I love this movie. One of the things that I'm having trouble articulating is the dialogue in the movie is so self-serious and so, I assume of the time, I'm not a historian or an academic in that way or anyway. So I don't know if that's actually how they talked back then, but they stick with it and they really go for it. And it's almost comical
Mm-hmm.
the way they talk to each other.
I don't know if it's comical, but it's kind of impenetrable. I am glad you guys really like it.
Thank you.
And I want to like it as much as you. But I also thought it was boring as fuck. No, that's ridiculous.
You try going with your makeup like this, it really gets you into the into the mood.
That's reductive.
I also went with my little plastic
your
vampire
fan.
teeth. They glow in the dark.
Chamber music is beautiful. Chanting monks are beautiful. Specific types of architecture is beautiful. But I don't like to spend time with it.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's how this movie felt.
Okay.
It is technically beautiful. Totally get what they were doing. And then I got bored. And then it never stopped being boring until about an hour and a half in. And it's fine.
Man, I was not bored
fine.
at all.
I had a bad experience towards the beginning of the movie, but other than that, like,
Like a theater experience.
but I was looking at my watch a lot and I was yawning a lot.
Yeah.
It just was.
Fair enough. I mean, I get it.
I can see it.
I can see
Yeah.
it.
If
Yeah.
like that's why I said I
If
was
it's
like, this
not
might be
your
me overhyping because
Yeah.
this is my shit.
And I wish I was in a
It's your
claustrophobic.
catnip.
This
I wish I was in a claustrophobic screening room so I could actually feel the feels.
Yeah.
But no, it was 10 of us in the movie theater for like 200 people, and it's still people were fucking assholes. And it was just it was maudlin.
Ugh.
It was like I tried to explain this to you earlier. Like there's a subtle difference between it's like a really thin line between actual gravitas or the facsimile of gravitas.
Mhm.
Like oh my god, look at that, it's beautiful, it's strong, or look how beautiful and strong this is. I don't think the movie goes that far like it is, but it's like really fucking on the cusp. And if you are not in the right mindset or the right temperament, no.
Okay.
Things I loved. I think the camera work was fucking amazing.
Nuts.
I was telling you at the shop, watch it again. All of the establishing shots are in motion.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Dylan, I don't know if you caught that. Like often an establishing shot for a movie, especially a period piece, is static establishing shot, and then we'll cut to your focal point, the main character. In this, Eggers goes out of his way to make it always in motion. And the first time he does it was when she wakes up from a nightmare at the beginning of the movie. The camera is on her right side. She sits up and the camera moves behind her and then introduces Nicholas Hoult and then walks out of the room with him. And it's so subtle and it's so smooth that it continues out into the street where he's running to work. And again, a different filmmaker would just have establishing shot, cut to establishing shot. He literally slowly follows him as he's running through and everyone's set up and it's like a oneer. The movie continues that and it's just fucking gorgeous.
That was when I was was that shot. Because I was like, I feel like I am walking the street in Victorian Germany right now.
Stepping over rats and corpses.
Where I want to be.
Everything.
Just for a minute. Just for a little bit. Just to see what it's like.
Everything aesthetic about this movie is fantastic.
Just to get the
Technically, it's absolutely beautiful. I know I should like it more, but I had absolutely no connection to any fucking character. I had no investment on what's going to happen because it was telegraphed from the 3rd minute of the movie. And I didn't feel any emotional weight for anyone. They were all just potential victims.
We'll get into spoilers at some point.
I do think that there's a giant miscast in the whole movie. I do think that Aaron Taylor Johnson and Nicholas Hoult are miscast and should swap roles. Because to Thomas, there's almost like a himbo quality of he keeps failing forward, and that just spoke so much about Aaron Taylor Johnson's impotent. Like he plays the high class but basically impotent, inaction, rich friend, and Nicholas Hoult plays this like falling forward, desperate person, a himbo, and it's like, they should have they should have switched because that at least feels a little bit more right. Lily Rose Depp was great.
Oh, I loved her.
I didn't know who that was. I had to ask my wife. There was a couple of things I had to ask my wife on the way home. Who was that? She goes, Lily Rose Depp. And I'm like Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Kosta didn't know it was Johnny. Like
Johnny
he had
Depp's
any relation. Yeah, related to Johnny Depp until the credits rolled.
Kevin Smith movies, apparently.
I think 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah. She was awesome. She was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like she was difficult to watch.
And yes, people in the again, only like 10 people. Some of them laughed during the possession scenes. I'm like,
I did
whatever.
not. I thought that was really effective.
I was in a small theater. I was at the Bourse in Old City.
You guys are
we're in the same theater?
Yeah.
You were there
Have you not been listening to this show?
I missed that when you said that. Anyway.
Playing Sudoku.
Yeah, but there was a group of young ladies in front of us who just thought everything was funny.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like,
I hate that.
It's not like that. It's not funny.
I get
some
nervous.
parts were funny. Some parts were
yeah.
to be fair.
Especially once Willem Dafoe shows up. That dude's hilarious.
He had one of my favorite lines.
I get nervous laughter when you're like tense or scared, but that's not what they were doing.
Yeah.
They thought it was silly and they were making fun of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a shame.
But
I also kind of get it. Like I said it earlier,
hold it in.
It's on the cusp of being silly. Some of the dialogue.
And yeah, that was also a thing that I disliked. It's not Elizabethan. They commit so hard to it that it's almost a parody.
Yeah.
Like 2 characters are having a heated exchange about life and death, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is rolling his mouth over flowery language, and I didn't believe a fucking second of it. I just didn't. And that kept an arm's length from the characters for me. The fact that it was all performative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that really...
You could feel the acting.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Except Lily Rose Depp and Skarsgård.
That was the other thing. I didn't
phenomenal.
know it was Skarsgård.
He was originally going to be Thomas Hutter.
Who was going to be Skarsgård? Who was going to be?
We don't know. Oh God, Doug. Oh my God, he's Billy in freaking Hocus Pocus, and he's in What We Do in the Shadows. He's a famous Doug Jones. Thank you. He was like mentioned.
Gotcha.
As being Orlok, but I think like 10 years ago or something, they approached Bill Skarsgård with a script, and he read for Frederick. And then they're like, oh, we think we like you for Thomas Hutter. And then it got like pushed on the back burner. And they approached him for it again. And he's like, oh, I'm Thomas, right? And they're like, no. What do you think of Count Orlok? And he's like, what about him? And they're like,
yeah.
I think
he had. So I think that Thomas. Thomas's characterization needs to almost be earnest but dopey, strong but also kind of like a pushover, and I don't know. I didn't like, he looks strong, but is a bit of a pushover. I guess Nicholas Hoult works, but God damn it, man.
I think Nicholas Hoult was like 2 of the 3 of those things. And
Yeah,
he is pretty ripped. But like not,
he's not Craven
buff.
ripped. Yeah.
no,
like
Craven ripped.
one
Yeah.
looks like they play football. The other
Yeah.
one looks like they hit the gym. There's
they
like
run.
a difference of
Like a
like,
runner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just physicality. I think I don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson pulled it off.
Yeah.
But I think he could have
See,
pulled off.
you're saying
the
they
other
should
thing.
have switched, but I think Nicholas Hoult was fine in this role.
Yeah.
And I believed his terror.
Yeah.
What he had to
sure.
do most of the time was be terrified, and I believed him in that. We watched another movie this this month,
Order.
The Order, where he plays like this alpha male KKK, like Nazi, like neo-Nazi, I guess. And I don't buy him as that because it's Nicholas Hoult and you're adorable. But I buy him in this where he's like terrified.
Yeah. I mean, I bought it. Sure. Looks like he was constipated all the time.
Oh.
But it's fine.
But yeah, the fact I had no idea who Count Orlok was. And the fact that I was like, that's him? I literally went home just to Google. I didn't go home just to do this. I went home to live there. But when I was there, I Googled if they did some sort of like modulation to his voice.
Nope.
And it's like, no, he just does that with his voice.
He did like operatic training.
Yeah. It's insane to me.
What constitutes as a spoiler? The look of him? Is that a spoiler? They're not showing
Apparently
it.
they're
Yes. Yeah. I would say yes.
Have we said everything we want to say about
Yeah,
this movie?
I think
and
I've said all
spoilers?
my non-spoiler stuff.
I think
Yeah.
it's a wonderfully made movie. I just didn't connect with it.
Fair enough. You know what? Pink says Near Dark and Coppola's Dracula are the only vampire movies I ever liked.
Near Dark is a fucking masterpiece.
Near Dark is dope. Coppola's Dracula is not for me. If it was cast differently and it didn't have Winona Ryder or
So all the American actors, get rid of them.
get rid of the American actors. The rest of the movie is gorgeous. Actually, just you know what? It doesn't need any other actors. Just have Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman.
If it was just Gary Oldman in that movie, I would love it. High hopes for this one. Love the director, says Pink. And then Carl says, I thought the movie was shot beautifully, but it was hard to connect with. Great performances, though. I did think that it did verge into camp at times. Camp. Good word. At times, as it was so incredibly serious in tone. Thank you, Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
that's a good.
you either like it, the movie had one wavelength.
Yeah.
You're on it or you're not.
Yeah. And
I was
there were
on
times
it.
when I teetered.
I was so on it. I was
Yeah,
just
I
there the
keep
whole
thinking,
time.
and I wish I could find the actual dialogue. I keep thinking of the scene where Ellen is arguing with Frederick
In the hallway.
in the hallway.
Yeah.
That is
About tying her
the
up.
worst fucking scene because he can't get through that
oh,
dialogue.
yeah, he was.
That was when it all tipped to like, no,
Yeah.
just no. Like he could even just been like, stop it. And then that would have done effectively. But no, we had to get that exactly scripted language out. Like,
We're going to get into spoilers right now for
Mhm.
Nosferatu 2024. So beware. I had a lot of emotion when his family gets it.
oh, sure.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When
I saw it coming and I
the
was
fact
like,
that
"Ugh."
she can't wake him up because he's been I almost said bedazzled. Because
Oh,
he's
I
been
love that movie.
he's been
He's been bejeweled.
bewitched by Count Orlok, and she can't wake him up.
But whoopsies.
And then the whole family gets it, including the 2 little twin girls.
Mhm.
That's another scene that I don't buy him in when he's the dad and he's like, these are my children. I'm not just acting, and we're going to go upstairs and I'm going to put them to
not
bed.
just acting.
Yeah, the way
like,
he
I don't-
talks to the kids, like, oh, sweetheart.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
Papa.
Yeah, I don't know
what.
what.
These kids suck too. I'm glad
Yeah.
they got it.
Even the way he smoked a cigar was fucking weird.
It's just,
like
he's a good actor, though. I don't know.
I know he
what the-
is. I just think he was wildly miscast.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as not having, you had mentioned earlier, not having any emotional attachment to it, there was a bunch in here for me that I felt attached to. Yeah.
I think shock is different than actually like emotional attachment, though.
I was attached to Alan. And this is something I want to ask you about. Ask all of you about, both of you.
Oh,
Everybody
Go
here
away.
is getting asked.
Styles and I.
Yeah. Shh. So vampires in media have been used to symbolize multiple things, either like dark human hidden desires, or they've been kind of like more of the predatory aspects of human nature. How did you interpret that with Helen? I keep saying Helen Ellis. Ellen and Count Orlok. Was it more of her deep sexual desire, or was she being preyed upon from a young age?
May I?
So, go ahead.
So, did you get this out of this little bit out of the film? Do you? Susha and I were talking about the fact that she appears to have some sort of psychic connection. She has psychic abilities of some sort.
Yes. I do have psychic abilities too. Yes. Thank you for
so
asking.
So you caught it.
Yeah.
You could sense her
I could sense her sensing it because they said it in the movie.
Did they say it?
No, they didn't outright
I was
say
like,
it.
well, I mean, did they?
I don't think they might. They like hinted at it.
Okay, but the original thing that she has with him years ago was her. He wakes up because he senses her, and she calls him to her, and that's the scene that we see in the beginning by the bushes, I think.
I had a different understanding.
Yes, the movie spends so much time over explaining things, and then what's important doesn't do shit with. It's grooming. It's predatory grooming.
Okay, there's so many people that don't feel it. And like, I think it can be interpreted like because
they
of
more
different
romanticize the fact that a 400-year-old dude is like going after a young girl in her dreams and then prepping her for years. That's
So
fucking grooming.
This is another thing I wanted to touch on. That opening scene. A lot of people that I saw like a TikTok somebody posted and people were arguing in the comments about whether or not Lily Rose was begging Orlok to come to her or if she was just a young girl praying for help and Orlok is the one that answered. I read it as she was praying for any kind of guardian angel and Orlok is the one that awoke because of their connection.
Yes.
And prayed upon her.
Yes.
There's one small detail that made me really believe that she was supposed to be a little kid or a young child in that scene.
She's in her teens.
Teen. She still has a dollhouse and toys in her room.
Whether she asked him specifically or to the ether is fucking irrelevant. She is a little girl.
Yes.
And he is not.
But there were people who
grooming.
didn't get that she was a little girl in that scene.
Yeah.
I didn't get that she was a little girl in the beginning of the scene.
She's a young,
she looks exactly
teenager,
like she does.
Exactly.
Through
That's
the
why
rest
it
of
was
the film.
like in the background when she's like floating to the window. There's like you see her dollhouse in the background and like
I didn't.
I
See?
think
and also
she catches all the things.
And also to put a fine point on it, an 18-year-old that enters a relationship with a 40-year-old is being groomed. It doesn't matter.
We're not disagreeing with you.
No. To that point, like whether she was an older teen or a younger teen, doesn't fucking matter. Still grooming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is predatory in nature.
Because my own personal biases was like immediately clocked that. I was like, okay. And then like I saw other people online that were like, oh no, like she loved him and like called to him and like she was, and I'm like, wait.
A gaslit victim of grooming thinks that they're in a mutual relationship. Also, too, the whole climax of the movie of her willingly becoming bait validates the fact that it was grooming and he was a predator for her because she put herself up to lure him in and defeat him. Like it literally is a bookcase. It's closed. There's no interpretation.
At no point do I feel during the majority of the movie with her, pardon me, rantings and ravings, has any control in the situation, except for when she takes control at the end and lures him in to kill him.
If you want to get hyper emotional about it too, the idea that she felt great shame for asking for it.
Yes.
And only forgave herself through Thomas's love.
And her father even called her unclean at one point. She was found naked outside. Like
she was preyed upon.
Yes.
There's no gray area.
Because that was part of the discourse.
Twitter and TikTok.
You're watching.
There's no fucking gray area.
It was one TikTok that I watched. I'm not going to say this was all over TikTok. Where somebody was saying what I'm saying, what we're saying.
Yeah.
And there were people in the comments going off about like how like no, it was like
what are these?
They were saying because vampires have often represent like repressed sexual desire in people. I'm like, yeah, but they're also represent like the predatory nature of human nature.
But that's only in context of becoming a vampire that it's a sexual desire or a queerness.
Yes.
Not like the external factor is the vampire. Do they show me your citations, TikTok? Like you're clearly interpreting it incorrectly, or you're conflating two different interpretations together to become an Orlok stan he's objectively just the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no redeeming qualities.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just curious what everybody's takeaway was from that. And
He's the himbo.
glad.
Count Orlok is a himbo.
Robert Downey Jr. back in the day, marriages with vast age gaps were common. It wouldn't have been seen as grooming. It would have been grooming, even though it was socially acceptable as not
To
being
groom.
grooming.
Yeah.
It would have still been grooming.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. It's like you're talking about the common and/or legality of it, which has developed over time. It's still the process of grooming a younger partner to be what you want them to be instead of what they are.
Yeah.
It's almost, I'm looking on, where am I? Google. The 5-star reviews and the 1-star reviews are like shocking. They're like so close. It's at 2.5 stars. Or no, 3, I guess. Round up.
3 middle, yeah.
3 stars. That's insane to me.
What are the 1 stars? I'm so curious.
No, I genuinely think this is a beautiful, well-made movie.
Right.
It's just, it's a little, for me, it's a little emotionally immature, save for one character.
Alan?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is just kind of like artifice of other characters. Even Willem Dafoe, who's so fun to watch.
I loved him.
He is chewing.
He's just scenery
Yeah.
chews. Like,
There's no
like,
scenery left in that movie. He ate it all.
And also too, he just fucking disappears for the most part after he has his one little bit. Like he sets fires
Loved
and
him.
just like, you're like, yeah. And then he's in the back of the room later. Like
he takes the cat at the end.
Yeah. That cat is awesome.
And Greta, his one line that he says, I'm going to just start using in everyday life. I have seen things that would make Isaac Newton crawl back up into his mother's womb.
That was so great.
I'm going to say that all the time.
That was actually, that was the one bit of dialogue that I clocked also. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Willem Dafoe did a scene with 2,000 live rats. Oh, and Emma Corwin I thought was great in this movie too. And I loved the depiction
that wig was something,
of
though.
female friendship. What'd you say, waste of it?
That wig was something though.
That wig was something. She filmed that scene where she's getting attacked by rats with actual live rats just crawling all over her. I think it was like 30 rats, maybe more.
That's awesome.
I also love the aspect that I wasn't sure if it's in the original Nosferatu, but like the fact that along with the Demeter, the ship that brings Orlok, the Demeter, that brings him, also brings plague rats.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Another
I love
thing
that aspect.
Vampire symbolizes like plague and disease.
Yeah. But it made. I love that.
Transfused by blood.
I love that their presence sort of
Infection.
masked his presence, and I've never seen that in that specific story before. But I thought it was a really cool addition.
There's some really cool allusions to occultism. There's some really cool like the plague, like her being psychic or just tuned.
Yeah.
And then the plague stuff was really, really cool. And then how I really, really like how that third act they heightened the plague at the same time that, you know, like we're ramping up the tension. The movie to me doesn't start until like an hour and a half in. It really is just like vibes. And then,
I understand
by the way, there's
that,
plot here.
But I
Let's do
was
that.
so into the vibes that I did not even care.
Totally fair, because it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah,
I was.
You know
at
what?
no point was I like
was
not
in-
looking at something.
I wish I could have paused and then took a break and then came back.
I
This
was in
really
1830s
was,
Germany, and that's all I wanted to be in. I was just like, yeah, let's walk the street with bodies and rats. I love this.
I can't disagree with you because we did take a break. And when I came back, like I was excited, despite having a very visceral physical reaction to parts of this movie that I still can't explain or quantify. I was very excited to come back and finish it. And then when it was over, I was like, that was fucking masterpiece. I love this movie.
Also, how long does the plague take to take hold? They were saying that it was like accelerated because like between, I think in like a 15-minute span of time,
it depends.
Frederick
I've never done
was
an autopsy
boiled
on
up
somebody
and
with the
coughing
plague.
blood.
I cannot say for sure.
Also, who was his boss? Because that dude was awesome.
That guy was great.
Naked in a pentagram?
Fantastic.
Yeah, that guy was great. He was the real
He's
villain.
living his best life.
Just eating the birds? Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
the practical effects were fantastic. The scenery was fantastic.
7 days,
Like
according to Google.
this 2 to 7
thanks.
days. Yeah.
It takes 2 to 7 days.
Not an afternoon, that's for goddamn sure.
The bubonic plague,
but
also
it was
known as Black
It was
Death,
a magic plague.
usually
so we're
killed
good.
victims
Yeah.
within 2 to 7 days of infection. Holy
Wild.
cats.
Absolutely wild.
Another thing I want to talk
hello.
about.
Kratz.
Christmas.
Yeah.
There are ties to Christmas in this movie. This is just a fun fact that I wanted to spew off.
Oh, great.
Christmas time, winter time used to be spooky season
That's right.
back then.
It's even
We'll
in the
tell-
songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even Christmas Carol is a ghost story because people died in the winter. It was a scary time.
Is that why?
And also,
Duh.
people were, if somebody died in the winter, they couldn't always be buried because the ground was frozen. So
Yeah.
they'd be above ground or somewhere in the house, usually above ground and like an above ground grave. Maybe, well, like for the wake, they would leave them in the house for like the wake.
Yeah.
And then like they would be in their coffin or casket and then wouldn't be buried until later. And if
The
they
fact-
suspected this person of being a vampire, they would still be fresh when they looked at them. So they always thought that they were vampires because they were just frozen.
Oh,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Fun.
What is the level of decomposition if a body is desanguinated?
Oh, it
Is
would
it faster or
it would
slower?
slow it down, I would think,
I would
because
think.
that's how the bacteria travels. There's
Right?
actually this
Yeah.
cool thing that happens called, I'm going to sound so psycho on this. It's not cool.
There's this really fucking cool thing that happens and when
It's
you
called,
die.
it's one of the earlier signs of decomposition. It's called skin marbling, and it actually looks like
Ooh.
purpley red marbling on your skin.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
the bacteria traveling in your blood vessels. So yeah, that's
That
how
is pretty cool.
So
it looks cool.
so the corpse of I think I've seen that in movies.
Yeah, I've
They
seen
do
that.
it very
Especially
well
with,
in
like,
some movies.
Zombies
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yes.
start to
Yeah.
Yes.
like when you're turning like the
Yes. It's like it's traveling through your blood.
So it's safe to say that a victim, a complete victim that of a vampire bites
Fully
or
emptied of blood.
fully emptied, the would
Exsanguination.
preserve
Yeah.
be preserved a little longer
Yeah.
than another body.
Theoretically, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
forgot. I don't know how I got there.
Cool.
Oh, I wasn't I mean, I thought it was sad when the little girls got eaten, but
It was such a
But I
crazy
was
sentence.
clapping.
they foreshadowed it like 4 times.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew that. I knew
There's
they were
a-
goners.
But they
There's a monster in the
literally, there's a
room.
monster. He's gonna eat me. Blah blah. Like they literally foreshadow it like 4 times, and I was like, the only thing I wasn't sure is like, you're gonna show it in shadow, or you're gonna show it.
Yeah.
right.
That was
I
the
wasn't. I
only
was
thing,
like, are
yeah.
we
I
gonna
guess I wasn't
see it?
expecting to see it.
Yeah,
And like dropping
You
the
don't even know if
corpse.
you
like a
you
rag doll.
just like
yeah.
yeah.
Um, Hmm.
So, I had a
Anything-
question.
you have a question?
Yes, we could see it again.
Yeah. So
Yes, you can
what
see
are
it
you
again.
guys doing after this? Can we go again?
We can go again. I need a nap. Oh,
Frederick.
Fired.
Frederick and his wife Anna, I believe her name was.
Yes.
How do you feel about their relationship, and how do you feel about what he did after she died?
Right. He has a time with her, right?
Oh, he makes out with her. Yeah.
Well, I think he
because when
seals
they
the deal with her.
find him, he's like between her legs.
Yeah.
He was like,
And he's like
dying,
zipping up
right?
things, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. He
He's dead. Wait, who's
dying.
zipping up things?
Like I thought, I thought.
I guess
he,
it was.
I mean,
I guess it
totally. Yeah. Well, I mean-
he's unbuttoning every
so,
layer.
so yeah, he's like he pulls her out, he kisses her, and he's coughing up blood, and then he gets in there with her. I honestly, I thought it was just he
I was under
next
the
to her and
impression
then died, and then
they had relations.
I thought that
oh no, I thought he just died next. Honestly, I don't give a shit.
Posthumous
it was
relations.
like because that changed how I felt about him the whole time. Because he never, or at least I don't know if he ever really. He more so said, "I can't resist my wife," and it was more about her physically and like
Yeah.
how much she could give him babies and like, she's pregnant
Oh.
again and I can't resist her. And then
Right.
like I never really heard him say like, "Oh, I love her."
Ooh.
And then when she died, he like opened her grave and violated her, and I was like, "This is, I don't know if I love this."
See, I didn't love it.
I mean, yeah,
I wasn't like rooting him on.
Woo! Yeah.
But I did think he was kind of insane.
yes,
Like, I don't think he was of right mind.
No.
Yeah.
he had the crazy magic plague.
I was gonna say, can I say,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters, in so
Mm.
much as like the character doesn't change
Mhm.
or redeemed or sullied because they were kind of a whatever.
Yeah.
Like
The whole time. Yeah.
if it was revealed that he did, violate the corpse of his dead wife, doesn't change the frame with which the movie set him in.
Hmm.
It just kind of adds. What does it add
It
I'm
changes
getting at.
how women are perceived in this movie to me.
globally? Sure.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, you're right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
The frame of the whole movie. I was talking
Yeah.
about just him.
No, it was more
'Cause
so
he was
like
shitty before, and he continued to be shitty after. I
they
wasn't
were.
sure.
Yeah, it was more so like they. So like Ellen obviously has her
Yeah.
issues, and she has Thomas who loves her. But even though he loves her, he's always whenever she's trying to talk about
I'm
her
doing
crazy
this for
nightmare,
you.
he's like, don't say that. No,
Yeah.
hush now. Don't bring this up again.
Yeah.
And then
He censors her.
they're
You're right.
strapping her to
Yeah.
beds, and she has these crazy raving. Well, that wasn't Thomas strapping her to the bed. That was Frederick. But again, it was Frederick strapping her to bed because of her mad ravings.
Yeah, by then,
And like,
he was like, he sucks.
and then even but to Thomas and Ellen, like Anna and Frederick had it all. They had a great because that's when he first says is like, I can't resist her, is when Thomas is talking about like how good Frederick's life is. So I thought it was like, oh, this is supposed to be like the picturesque family, like what you're striving for. And it's like, oh, even
Well,
in the
gross.
perfect situations when you have a lot of money, women are still like, oh no, like don't talk. We just want you to
So
see this pretty little thing. And
I wish we saw that, or at least hints of that from Anna's perspective. Then,
Yeah.
like, because she was never but effusive about how wonderful Frederick is.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like
So-
I might have been putting my own bias on it.
Well, I think about everything that's in the frame is God's eye. Robert Eggers wants you to see this in this frame, whether it's hidden or not.
Mm.
So to make that a part of the end with no kind of like if there was a dialogue scene between her and Ellen about like, just a throwaway line about like, sometimes I feel he doesn't even actually see me.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that to kind of set that up to it being a larger conversation about how women are treated.
Mhm.
But I seemed tacked on,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yeah.
Because that
And
probably would have been a lot more interesting for Anna as the character
yeah.
and us
And
relating to
in
her.
his defense, the only reason he let Ellen stay with them is because Anna
Yeah.
asked him. It was
Mhm.
like, she's my friend. We have to let her.
that's sort of the vibe I got
Yeah.
from their relationship is
Yeah.
that whatever she asks for, she gets, and
It's
he's
her
Yeah.
sort of
sister.
Yeah.
it's like a slave to her wants.
Yeah.
Not a slave, but like he cares about her wants and wants to
Right,
make sure
right,
that she's
right.
happy and gets what she wants.
Well, yeah,
Which
no,
would-
I can see it from that perspective too. That's why I was asking, because
Which
I'm like,
wouldn't
am
track
I?
with him violating her, or at least on
Yeah,
screen.
that's why I was like,
It's
did I
peculiar.
interpret
I'm not
that?
Sure, I'm not sure how to
Which
feel.
is why I was just like, oh, he's insane and is just in the
Right.
the throes of grief.
Right.
I have seen other movies where they do something like that, where the spouse is freaking out and rips open the coffin or gets in there with them and blah blah blah. So I just thought it was that.
Yeah.
right.
Not, and then he
I'm gonna watch
literally-
it again with
he
a different
literally
eye.
dies there, and you don't like. It's only in the back of the frame when they find the bodies.
Yeah.
hmm
I couldn't tell if legs are up or
Yeah.
if he's
It
just in
seemed
there. Or
like
anything.
he was like posed between them
Yeah, I-
suggestively.
That's what I got.
Uh,
Talking about women in the film and how they're portrayed. How do we feel about
necrophilia.
yeah.
Very against.
other than being hilarious.
Boo.
and
Avi.
thumbs down.
Ellen, the fact that all of the men in the face of this threat are pretty impotent and can't really do a thing about it.
Mm.
And it's up to Ellen Hutter to sacrifice herself, to lure her with her body in order to keep Count Orlok so ingrained in, first of all, the fact that it's straight to the heart, pretty cool. It's not a neck thing, it's a
Poster?
chest thing.
Hated it.
Oh, I thought that was so cool.
It was so cool, but it was just because it was so the one scene. Yeah.
Like a fucking pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It was hot.
Yeah,
It was straight up hot.
the fact that she has to lure him and engage him until he dies from it.
hmm
Do we have thoughts on that?
I loved the idea of it, but as a conclusion to your movie, it was the most anticlimactic fucking thing.
Mm.
Because he was just like, no. Okay. Like that was the crescendo of all of these machinations
Yeah.
was just, oh, I see the
Yeah.
sun, but
I did
got
feel
it.
that was strange, but I wonder if it's the being enraptured by the spell of blood. Like
Mm.
maybe
But then-
he's one of those vampires who actually like can't.
so when you have
Stop.
something that's maybe not visually dynamic, you potentially use other tricks of filmmaking
Mm.
to ratchet up the emotion or scene, whether that's with editing, with music, with dynamic angles. It was maybe like the most peaceful scene in the whole fucking movie, and it was your climax.
Yeah.
You had 3 other characters setting fires and running like crazily through the city. We didn't see that. You had things happening in the streets. We didn't see it. We just see them in bed. And it was really a choice to end the movie in like as quiet as it ended. Because you're right. 2 hour, like an hour and a half into the 2.5 hour running time, it starts to crank and you're like, oh, now we're cooking with gas and Gary, like they're doing all the stuff. And then it just like goes back to sleep in a very like silent way, which is cool, but also like, it's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't need fireworks, but I
think
just,
it's more,
I wanted more of a release, I guess.
Yes. I thought that at the time, being like, well, that's an interesting choice to make of like, this is pretty sleepy climax to a film.
Banging last shot though.
The maiden in death.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I think it speaks to her sacrifice that she's able to just control him, right? And her power over him as well. And being able to control him and just being like, no. And being like, okay, mommy, kind of that sort of thing is how I perceive it.
Oh, I mean, I think narratively it makes sense. It's just,
but it is weird. He's just like, oh no, son. No, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Like it wasn't even like, it was like it wasn't even very forceful. It was just,
yeah, come back.
Yeah.
Even if the music was swelling in a different way, I feel it was very
strangely loving.
Yeah. But I loved the turn that she knew she was bait. They kind of talked about it on the side. But even that setup was executed boringly. Like if that conversation was revealed in real time, intercut with them getting to their you knew, but when they go off on their mission, it's impotent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no narrative mystery or drive there. It's just,
guess we'll follow him.
I know this 20 minutes doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, I don't know. It left me really cold.
Okay.
It did.
Fair enough.
But it was so cool looking.
Yeah.
But it left me really cold.
You got to see Willem Dafoe with 2,000 live rats.
I mean, he was awesome.
Yeah.
with the fucking torch just like going hog. He was awesome. He's always awesome though.
Yeah, he is.
He's getting awesomer, I think.
He really is.
Like he gets
fine wine.
Yeah. He gets better with age, I think. Anything else we want to talk about? We've been going for a bit.
I think this is worth seeing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth seeing, especially if you just love film and filmmaking. Absolutely worth seeing.
Are we done with the comments?
Sorry.
So yeah.
Also, wait, the popcorn bucket. Have you seen the popcorn bucket for this one?
Casket.
It's just his casket.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
People have been using them. I've seen
his maggots. He just like has maggots on him all the time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, we didn't talk about spoilers for his looks. He has a mustache. So he's fully decomposing with
5-star mustache, by the way.
A mustache. And all I could think of was like, he probably has so much congealed blood just like stuck in his mustache.
Oh, yeah.
And
he does not bathe.
He's like decomposing actively. He just has to have smelled so bad.
That was the mustache was
he just had to have.
Costa would love it.
The mustache
it smelled like me getting home from work yesterday.
Was a fucking swing that I loved.
Yeah.
Because culturally it's very appropriate.
Yeah.
For that like for that time period and
location.
Yeah. Yeah, they all like large beards and stuff. So like fuck yeah, he would have a giant ass mustache.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a TikTok that was really funny about a guy with his head out the window with a giant mustache, and it said something like Orlok on the Demeter. Just like mustache blowing.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Let's see. Back in the day. Oh, hi, Robert Monroe Jr. He says back in the day, marriages with vast age. Oh, we already read that. Never mind. Shut up, Robert. I'm gonna read your comment twice. Carl says, when you go to the cinema, you never think you're gonna see a bit of Nosferatu penis.
That's always what I expect. I'm just kidding.
She's constantly disappointed.
Which they framed and gave to Nicholas Holt.
His
Nosferatu
penis?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, to Nicholas Holt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
he wanted it.
He was violated on screen. So
yeah, all right. Fair enough.
That I was talking to him about it. The last shot, awesome. With the skeleton arms and legs, and he's always
so
cloaked.
gross.
So it's like, oh yeah, maybe because there was a couple times where like he would do his hands, and you're like, it's very little.
Yeah.
But then when you saw him completely naked, beefy as hell, arms full, legs full. So I was like, was it him
I just
dying
took that as
turned into a little frail boy?
Yeah, it was the sun.
Or okay,
he raisined up.
Okay,
California raisined.
Also, that too was like show me more.
Yeah.
He was just like, drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
And, like, blow up or
Blow up. Do
Or,
some,
like,
come on, you're poking him.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
Do
Come
something.
on.
Do something, dead boy. Are we sure you're gone? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I was kind of expecting one of those last minute scare things because he does go down so quiet.
This movie, it's not that kind of
His
movie.
finger twitches at the end, and then it goes,
Dun, dun,
come
dun.
back for Nosferatu.
Yeah. I'd watch it.
Nosferatu Furious.
I would watch a parody sequel to this.
Parody sequel?
Yeah.
Oh, like Return of the Living Dead.
2.
Yeah.
And then it's just like
Mm.
taken seriously. It'd be just as good.
Hey, guys. Oh,
good.
that's rude. This movie was awesome.
Robert
Noel
Eggers.
sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I want him to direct it. What are you
Email
talking
us
about?
at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Nosferatu.
There's a rumor that Robert Eggers is potentially going to develop a Labyrinth remake or requel, whatever.
I don't want it. Labyrinth
Remake
is-
everything. I don't give a shit.
I'd love it.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
but
what-
it's not
between-
an era of lost media. No one's doing anything with the original version.
Between
It's fine.
Nosferatu and Salem's Lot.
Oh,
Who would watch Salem's Lot
It's
again?
so fun. That's such a fun.
Dang.
If you guys haven't seen Salem's Lot, the one from this year,
Just watch
it's
the-
delightful.
If you honestly,
It's so dumb.
I want a director's cut of Salem Lot because it seems like there's a lot of plot that was like left out of
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
But the third act is so good.
Banger.
So
Banger.
good.
Yeah. You want climax.
Not you though. You'd
Salem's Lot.
rather watch this again.
oh yeah. I'd rather watch this again. I love Salem's Lot though. I'd watch it.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to rewatch
Listen, you
this,
put a vampire in anything, I'm going to
Yeah.
watch it. But
especially if
Which
they
we will-
sparkle.
Which we will later this year.
Yeah.
you want to talk about?
One more advertisement for a movie from 1979. Smoke weed, dank weed with it,
Sorry.
and you will go down a Klaus Kinski rabbit hole. I'm in. Is it streaming? Where can I find
Yeah,
it?
where can we get it?
It's either on Max or Prime. I saw.
No, I rocked on the
Oh.
other side. No.
Brisket. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Join us for Fresh Floppies. We released an episode today where we review the comic books that came out today, New Comic Book Day, but without spoilers.
Yep.
So check that out on YouTube and iTunes and Spotify and all those things.
And next week we'll see you for Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be great.
Oh man, it's the
Carl
best.
says, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
I'm all in for a new Labyrinth, but not from Eggers.
I mean, it'll look gorgeous.
Which pop star would you cast as Jareth?
I don't know if you should do any of that.
No.
I mean, hey,
Harry Styles.
don't put us in a box. Why does it have to be a 1-for-1 pop star in a role?
I just thought I'd
of
ask a
thing?
fun question, but never mind.
Well, no. The answer is don't care. Whatever.
All right.
Be creative. Make it a woman. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah. Why
Do
not?
anything.
Tina Turner.
She's dead.
Shit.
Even crazier than
Yeah.
she made a cameo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
She is dead.
And we'll talk at you later.
Is that up there with Betty White? Did you not know she was dead?
I forgot.
Oh, did
I
we?
forgot.
Tell them.
Did you know she was dead? I'm so sorry, Dylan.
Which one?
I
was just gonna ask you, I
resuppressed
don't know.
that. Yeah.
Is there any lipstick on one of them?
Oh right.
But my lipstick hasn't been coming off.
Ah.
YUNKJunk!